I always thought strength meant standing straight, she said quietly. Never bending. Never letting anyone see the cracks. She let out a shaking breath. But the truth is, I'm exhausted, Daniel. I'm so. Her voice collapsed before the sentence could finish, like her strength had finally given up on holding her upright. The rest of the words tangled in her throat, stuck between fear and relief, between wanting to stay composed and wanting, finally, to fall apart. The break room felt smaller. Or maybe it was just the silence wrapping around them, gently but firmly, refusing to let her hide anymore. Daniel didn't move closer, didn't rush to speak, didn't panic the way some people did when someone unraveled in front of them. He knew what this moment was. The quiet kind of breaking. He'd lived it more times than he could count. Hey, he said softly. You're okay. You don't have to finish the sentence. But I do. She wiped her cheek with the back of her wrist, frustrated at herself. Because if I don't say it now, if I don't admit it out loud, I'll go right back to pretending I'm fine. And I'm tired of pretending. Her shoulders slumped, and the baby stirred again, making a tiny noise before drifting back to sleep. Maya looked down at him instinctively, automatically soothing him even while she was falling apart. That alone told Daniel everything he needed to know. She wasn't weak. She wasn't broken, she was just tired of fighting everything alone. You're safe, Daniel said gently. Right here. Right now. You're safe. Maya pressed her palm against her eyes, inhaling shakily. When she spoke again, her voice was raw. Honest in a way most people never allowed themselves to be. I feel like I'm drowning, she whispered. And no one sees it. They see the uniform. They see the last name. They see who my father is. But they don't see me. They don't see. She pressed a trembling hand over her heart. They don't see how hard I'm trying. Or how scared I am that trying won't be enough. Daniel's throat tightened. Maya, she shook her head, not to silence him but because she was finally letting everything surface. I can't fail. Not as a soldier. Not as a daughter. Not as a mother. Everyone keeps telling me I'm strong. But being strong all the time, she choked on a half laugh, half sob. It's killing me. He felt that in his bones. Strength isn't standing straight. He paused, breathing through the memories rising in him. Strength is standing up at all when life keeps knocking you down. She stared at him, eyes shimmering with unshed tears. Do you know how many nights, Daniel continued softly, I sat on my bathroom floor after Lily finally fell asleep, asking myself if I was doing anything right? If she deserved better? If I was the reason everything kept falling apart? His voice lowered. You're not alone in that feeling. Maya's lips parted, as if she hadn't expected him to say that, like she didn't know anyone else in the world felt the same way she did. When my wife died, Daniel said, voice thickening, everyone told me to be strong. For Lily. For yourself. For the family. But no one told me how. No one told me that strength would feel like suffocating. That I'd feel like a failure every time I couldn't stop crying in the middle of the night. He gave a humorless smile. They just assumed I'd be fine. Maya let out a shaky breath. That's exactly it. They assume. Because you don't look weak, he said, her eyebrows tightened. I'm not allowed to. You're allowed here. The room went still, her eyes flickered, searching his face for something, judgment, pity, expectation. She found none. Only sincerity. And that, more than anything else, seemed to make her chest tremble. She exhaled a breath that sounded like months of tension loosening. I didn't ask for any of this, she whispered. Not the expectations. Not the pressure. Not being the admiral's daughter. Not raising a baby alone. Not feeling like my life is made of obligations instead of choices. Daniel swallowed. What would you choose, if you could? Her lips parted, caught off guard. No one had ever asked her that. Not her father. Not her commanding officer. Not even herself. Her voice wavered. I don't know. Okay, he said gently. Then start small. What do you want right now? In this moment? She blinked rapidly, overwhelmed by the simplicity of the question. I want. She looked down at the baby, brushing a thumb over the soft curve of his cheek. I want him to grow up knowing I did my best. Even when my best looked messy. She lifted her gaze to Daniel. I want someone to talk to without feeling like I'm a burden. Her voice dropped. And I want to stop holding everything inside. Daniel nodded. Those are good wants. I feel selfish. You're human. She let out a weak, shaky laugh and leaned her head back against the wall. Feels illegal, being human in my world. Well, Daniel said softly, you're in my world tonight. And in my world, being human is the only rule. Her eyes closed, a tear slipping down the side of her face. Not dramatic. Not loud. Just real. She opened them again after a few moments, looking at him with something deeper than gratitude, something like trust carefully forming. What about you? She asked. What did you want, back then? When everything got hard? Daniel thought for a moment. I wanted someone to tell me I wasn't ruining everything. I wanted someone to sit with me while I figured out how to breathe. And I wanted, he paused, choosing the words carefully. I wanted to know I mattered. Even a little. Maya's throat bobbed. You deserved all of that. So do you. Her eyes softened in a way he hadn't seen before, not vulnerable, not fragile, but open. It was the first time he saw not the soldier, not the daughter of a powerful man, not the overwhelmed young mother, but the person beneath all of it. The Maya no one ever asked to see. She lifted one of her hands, hesitated, then pressed it to her chest as if steadying her own heartbeat. Why are you being so kind to me? Because I know what it's like to feel alone, he said. And I wouldn't wish that on anyone. Her breath trembled, and she whispered, Thank you, Daniel. You don't have to thank me. I do. She looked at him fully. Because no one else sees me. He held her gaze, quiet, steady. I see you. Her shoulders shook again, not from despair, but from the feeling of finally being seen after years of being invisible behind uniforms, titles, reputations, and obligations. For a long moment, they sat in silence. Not empty silence. Healing silence. The baby's soft breaths filled the room. The hum of the old refrigerator blended with the dim fluorescent lights. And somewhere outside the break room, life continued, hallways waiting to be cleaned, duties waiting to be done, expectations waiting to suffocate again. But here, in this small pocket of stillness, Maya breathed like she hadn't breathed in months. Can I stay a little longer? She whispered, as long as you need. She closed her eyes, relief washing over her face. I don't want to fall asleep. Why? Because then all of this will feel like a dream. And when I wake up, it'll be gone. Daniel's voice was gentle. It'll still be here. Her eyes opened again, glistening. Promise? He didn't hesitate. Promise. Maya let out a soft, broken exhale and leaned her head slightly to the side, not resting on him, but leaning toward him, as if she needed a center of gravity and he was the only stable thing in the room. Slowly, her breathing steadied, slowly, the fear in her eyes softened slowly, the wall she'd held up for years lowered, piece by fragile piece. And in that quiet moment, in a dim break room with a baby curled against her chest and exhaustion weighing her down, Maya finally allowed herself to bend and not break a bend, and Daniel watched her with a softness he didn't understand yet, but he felt deeply this wasn't the beginning of romance. It wasn't the beginning of a dramatic story. It was the beginning of someone finding space to breathe again, and Daniel, sitting beside her while her tears dried and her shoulders relaxed, felt something inside himself shift too, not pity. Not obligation. Something gentler. Something patient, something like connection, something like healing, something like two broken people recognizing each other in the dim light of an early morning they didn't expect to share, and for the first time in a long time, for both of them, the world felt a little less heavy. If you want the next emotional 1600 to 1800 word chapter, just tell me, I'm ready to continue the story.